I'm Amy, and I hadn't seen my son Garrett in 8 months when I walked into that venue. The ceremony was already over. I'd been told the wrong time, but I didn't know that yet. Garrett was standing near the entrance with Sienna, his new wife, greeting guests. When he saw me, his face went completely blank. Sienna turned, and her expression changed instantly. Why did you invite her? Garrett looked between us. Sienna, we talked about this. We talked about a lot of things, Garrett. You said she probably wouldn't come. Sienna's voice was sharp, controlled. She smiled at a passing couple, then turned back to us. This is my wedding day. It's mine too, Garrett said quietly. She's my mom. Is she? Sienna adjusted her veil. Because from what you've told me, she wasn't much of a mother when it mattered. I felt my chest tighten. Sienna, I don't know what Garrett's told you, but he's told me everything, Amy. How you chose your career over him, how you missed his games, his graduations, how you were never there. Garrett wouldn't look at me. Mom, maybe this wasn't the best time. You invited me. You sent me an invitation. You called me 2 weeks ago and said you wanted me here. I know, but he glanced at Sienna. Things have been complicated. My daughter Maya appeared beside me. Mom, there you are. I've been texting you. She looked at Garrett, then Sienna. What's going on? Nothing, Sienna said smoothly. We're just surprised Amy made it. Garrett mentioned she usually has work commitments. Maya's jaw tightened. That's not fair, Sienna. Mom took time off specifically for this. Did she? Sienna turned to Garrett. Honey, didn't you say your mom missed your college graduation for a conference? That was 7 years ago, I said, and it wasn't a choice. I was presenting research I'd worked on for 3 years. I explained this to Garrett. I apologized. Some things don't need apologies, Sienna said. They need to just not happen. Garrett finally looked at me. Mom, I think maybe you should... Should what? Maya interrupted. Leave? At her own son's wedding? It's not about leaving, Garrett said. It's just... Sienna's been stressed, and I don't want today to be difficult. Difficult for who? I asked. Garrett, when I called you last month, you said you understood. You said we were past this. I thought we were. He rubbed his face. But Sienna's helped me see things differently. She's made me realize how much I normalized growing up with a parent who wasn't present. I was present. I was there for everything I could manage, while keeping us financially stable after your father left. Sienna's expression shifted slightly. Garrett told me about the divorce, how you pushed Derek away with your ambition. Maya stepped forward. Okay, that's absolutely not what happened. Dad left Mom for his secretary. This is insane. Maya, please, Garrett said. This isn't about taking sides. Then what is it about? Maya demanded. Because it sounds like Sienna's been rewriting our entire childhood, and you're letting her. Sienna touched Garrett's arm. Sweetheart, maybe we should go greet the other guests. Your mother can stay if she promises not to make a scene. I'm not making a scene. I'm trying to understand why my son is treating me like a stranger. Because maybe that's what you've always been, Sienna said softly. A stranger who occasionally showed up and expected credit for the bare minimum. Garrett didn't contradict her. The reception hall was decorated with white roses and gold accents. I sat at a table near the back with Maya and my ex-husband Derek, who'd arrived with his wife Pauline. This is unbelievable, Maya muttered. That woman has completely poisoned him against you. Derek shifted uncomfortably. I'm sure Garrett's just trying to keep the peace. It's his wedding day. So Mom should just take it? Just sit here and be insulted? I'm not saying that. I'm saying maybe this isn't the time for confrontation. Derek glanced at Pauline. Right? Pauline, who I'd met exactly twice, nodded carefully. Weddings are emotional. Everyone says things they don't mean. Sienna meant every word, Maya said. She's been working on Garrett for over a year. Every time Mom calls, Sienna's there, reminding him of every mistake, every missed event. She keeps a list. A list? I asked. Garrett told me once. Sienna has this journal where she writes down all the ways people have hurt him. She says it helps him set boundaries, but really she's just collecting ammunition. Derek frowned. That seems unhealthy. It is unhealthy, but Garrett thinks she's protecting him. He thinks she's the first person who's ever really understood his pain. I watched Garrett across the room. He was laughing with Sienna's parents, looking genuinely happy. Sienna's mother, Colette, was a tall woman with perfect posture and an expression that suggested she didn't approve of much. She kept touching Sienna's face, adjusting her hair, whispering things that made Sienna smile and nod. They're very close, Pauline observed. Sienna and her mother. They're enmeshed, Maya corrected. Colette calls Sienna 5 times a day. She's already planning where they'll live, what kind of house they should buy, when they should start having children. Garrett doesn't seem to notice he's marrying into a package deal. Derek cleared his throat. Maya, that's not really our business. Dad, it is our business when Garrett's being manipulated into cutting off his own family. Have you talked to him about this? I asked. Recently, I mean. Maya hesitated. I tried. 3 weeks ago. He said I was jealous of his happiness and that I needed to respect his choices. Then Sienna got on the phone and told me I was toxic. She called you toxic? She said I enabled your neglectful behavior by not holding you accountable. She said if I really loved Garrett, I'd support his healing process. His healing process, I repeated. From what? From having a mother who worked hard to support him? Who paid for his education, his apartment, his... Mom. Maya touched my hand. I know. But Sienna's convinced him none of that matters because you weren't emotionally available enough. A server approached with champagne. I took a glass and watched Garrett stand for the first toast. Sienna's father, a heavy-set man with a booming voice, raised his glass. To my daughter Sienna, who has finally found a man worthy of her. Garrett, you're getting the best woman I know. Don't forget that. Everyone laughed. Garrett nodded, smiling. I won't, sir. I'm the lucky one. You are, Colette added, standing. Sienna could have had anyone. She gave up so much to be with you. The room went quiet. Garrett's smile faltered slightly. What I mean, Colette continued, is that she's sacrificed her own needs to help you heal from your difficult upbringing. That's true love. Maya grabbed my arm as I started to stand. Mom, don't. She's talking about me, in front of everyone. I know, but if you react, you prove them right. I stayed seated. Colette finished her toast, and the reception continued. I danced with Derek, made small talk with relatives I barely knew, and avoided looking at Garrett's table, where Sienna kept whispering to him and glancing my way. Around 9 o'clock, Garrett approached. Mom, can we talk? Outside. I followed him to a garden area behind the venue. The spring air was cool, and I could hear traffic from the nearby street. I need to tell you something, Garrett said. He wasn't looking at me. Sienna and I are moving to Portland. She got a job offer there, and we're leaving next month. Portland? That's across the country. I know, but it's a fresh start for us, away from complications. Complications meaning me. He finally met my eyes. Mom, I love you, but I need space. Sienna's helped me understand that I can't heal if I'm constantly pulled back into old patterns. What patterns, Garrett? What have I done that's so terrible you need to move 3,000 miles away? It's not one thing. It's everything. The emotional unavailability. The way you always put work first. The
The way you never really apologized for missing the important moments. I've apologized repeatedly. You told me you forgave me. I thought I did, but Sienna showed me I was just suppressing my feelings to keep the peace. That's not forgiveness. That's codependency. Did Sienna tell you that? Those exact words? She helped me recognize it, yes. Mom, she has a degree in psychology. She understands family dynamics. She has a bachelor's degree she got online. She's not a therapist, Garrett. His expression hardened. This is exactly what I mean. You can't just let me have something. You have to tear it down. I'm trying to help you see that you're making life-changing decisions based on someone else's perspective of your childhood. A childhood you told me just last year you were grateful for. I was lying to myself. Sienna helped me see the truth. The truth according to Sienna. The truth, period. He took a breath. There's something else. We're not going to have contact for a while. Maybe a long while. Sienna thinks it's best if I focus on my marriage without external pressure. Something cold settled in my chest. External pressure. I'm your mother, Garrett. I know, but right now, I need to prioritize my wife and my mental health. By cutting off your family? By moving across the country? By deciding everything I did was wrong? Yes, he said quietly, because it was wrong. And until you can admit that without making excuses, we don't have anything else to talk about. I stared at him, at this stranger wearing my son's face, speaking words that weren't his own. I won't apologize for things I didn't do, Garrett. I won't pretend I was a terrible mother to make Sienna feel better about isolating you.
Then I guess we're done here. He turned to leave. If you do this, I said, if you walk away and cut me off, there's no coming back from it. You understand that? He stopped, but didn't turn around. I understand. Then he walked back into the reception, and I stood alone in the garden, knowing my son was gone. Et and Sienna moved to Portland. Maya tried calling him. He never answered. Derek tried once. Garrett texted back that he needed space from everyone connected to his past. Then Maya got a message from Colette, Sienna's mother. She wanted to meet for coffee. Why? I asked when Maya told me. She said she has concerns about Sienna and Garrett. We met at a cafe downtown. Colette arrived perfectly composed, but her hands shook as she ordered tea. Thank you for coming, she said. I owe you an apology. I enabled Sienna's behavior at the wedding. I've been enabling it for years. What behavior? I asked carefully. The isolation, the rewriting of history, the way she systematically removes people from her partner's lives. Colette's voice cracked. Garrett isn't the first. There was someone before him, a wonderful man named James. Sienna did the same thing, convinced him his family was toxic, moved him away, cut off all contact. When he finally tried to leave her, she threatened to claim he'd abused her. Maya leaned forward. Why are you telling us this now? Because Sienna's pregnant. She told me yesterday. And I realized if I didn't speak up, Garrett would be trapped completely. The coffee shop seemed too loud suddenly. What do you expect us to do? I asked. Garrett won't speak to me. He's made his choice. Has he, though? Colette pulled out her phone, showed us a text thread. Garrett to Colette. I miss my family. I don't know how to fix this. Sienna says I'm backsliding, but I just feel empty. When was this? Maya asked. 2 weeks ago. But he's not happy, Amy. He's isolated and confused, and every time he questions anything, Sienna tells him he's betraying their marriage. I looked at the text, at my son's words. Then I thought about the garden. about his face when he said he needed to prioritize his mental health. I can't force him to see reality, I said finally. He has to want to, and right now, he doesn't. So you'll just give up? Colette looked shocked. I'm accepting that he's an adult who's made a choice, even if it's the wrong one. He knows where I am if he ever wants to come back. And if he doesn't? If Sienna keeps control and he never realizes what he's lost? I stood, picking up my purse. Then he'll raise a child in the same isolation he's created for himself. And maybe someday that child will wonder why they don't have a grandmother. Maybe they'll ask questions Garrett can't answer. I looked at Colette. But I can't do it for him. No one can. Maya walked out with me. In the parking lot, she said, Mom, we have to try something. She already won, Maya. The day Garrett chose to believe her version of his life over his own memories. So that's it? We just move on? We live our lives, we stay available, and we wait. Because eventually Garrett will wake up. Maybe in a year, maybe in 10. But when he does, he'll need us not to say, I told you so. He'll need us to just be there. What if he never wakes up? I unlocked my car. Then I'll have loved him anyway, and that'll have to be enough. I drove home, called in sick to work the next day, and let myself feel everything I'd been holding back. 2 weeks later, I got a single text from Garrett. Sienna's pregnant. Thought you should know. I didn't respond. What could I say that wouldn't push him further away? But I sat there in my kitchen, thinking about a grandchild I might never meet, raised by parents who'd convinced themselves that love looked like control. And I wondered, if that child ever finds me someday and asks why I wasn't in their life, what would you tell them?